cursed, so you better get your house in order soon.
A few days ago, my mother-in-law, VU, treated me like I was the one who had done something wrong and kicked me out of her house. I'm Hannah, and I'm 33 years old. Ever since I left school, I've been as a nurse at a hospital in the city. I am now an expert in my job, and I help many people at work. My husband's name is Mike. We met when I was working at the hospital where he was brought in after an accident. We hit it off right away, partly because we were close in age. He kept in touch with me after he was discharged from the hospital and we started dating. I became more and more attracted to the cheerful and kind Mike.
I want you to take care of me from...
Mike smiles mischievously as he says,
Oh, what are you saying?
Please, marry me.
After 6 months of dating, he proposed. I wanted to be with him forever, so I accepted his proposal. One day, a few days after his proposal, Mike called me out to consult with me.
What's wrong? You look so serious.
Actually, I didn't tell you this, but I resigned from my job the other day.
Huh? Why?
I'm going to take over my father's company eventually. If that happens, then I won't be able to do whatever I want. I thought I'd enjoy it while I could. A part-time job instead.
Why didn't you tell me about such an important thing before you quit your job?
I'm sorry, but I don't think it was of a deal. When the time comes, my father will ask me to take over the company. So, until then, I'm going to take it easy.
When the time is right, we will be ready to share our story with you. Are you sure that you can run a comm easily?
I thought that Mike had an immature way of thinking about how the society works. He proposed to me only few days ago, just stunned.
I may depend on you for a while, but are best together. And I mean, you have a higher income to begin with.
Huh? I mean, it's definitely fine too, because I love my job. But in return, you have to definitely think about the future, okay?
Okay, don't worry about it.
He seemed to go to work every day, never thought that he would quit his... But it's not like I'm getting married money either. Even so, I thought he had the sense, at least as a normal adult, so I'd feeling of distrust towards him. But I knew that we had a long life ahead of us, and there would be many more things to come, so I decided to trust him this time. Finally, the day came when we went Mike's parents. I was nervous and excited because I had been able to go and greet them before our schedules.
Hey, what are your parents like?
Well, my father is pretty busy and independent, but he grew up on his own. And, well, I think he's a self-made man. My mom loves me a lot, so I think you and her will get along great.
What does he even mean by that?
Oh, I see. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Mike's house is a big house because he runs a company.
Wow, your family is really rich, Mike. A house with a warehouse. That's amazing.
Oh my, Mickey, welcome back.
Nice to meet you, Vicky. My name is...
Oh, Mikey, you should come back more to show your face.
Did she just ignore me?
I'm home, Mom. This is my wife, Tobe, Hannah.
Ah, yes, okay. Well, enjoy your stay.
It seemed like I wasn't welcome at. Mike's father was away for work, so just Mike, Vicky, and I. It was somewhat awkward being with. I could tell right away that Vicky loved her son, but somehow they were with each other as if I wasn't there. When Mike left, as expected, Vicky to me.
I'm going to ask you directly. Did Mike for his money?
Excuse me?
You know, you can fool Mike, but not me.
That's not correct.
Don't you dare think about doing anything to my son or my family, okay?
On the way home, Mike suggested that we should live together with his family.
You and Mom seem to get along well, and wouldn't it be more convenient to live together after marriage? Besides, my father and mother didn't get along very well, and I think it reassuring to have you be with us. In return, when we have enough money up, we will definitely buy a new house to live together.
I wanted to fulfill Mike's wishes, but considering the earlier exchange with Vicky, it was something I just didn't want to do.
But after all, we are the ones getting married, so why do and the two of us go off on our own away from your parents? We'll think about whether we're going to be together in the future at time.
Fine. You're a cold person, huh?
A few days later, Vicky called me up, asked me to reconsider about living.
All right, Hannah. Our family has a long history. In order to accept you, a stranger nowhere, as my son's wife, I need to prove to myself and show you that you are not marrying my son just for his money.
It's not like I didn't want to cut Mike's parents out of my life, but I wanted to be as possible. I felt a little positive that if I tried hard enough, I could make it work with Mike. If that didn't work, Mike and I would walk away from them. That's what I thought. Not long after that, we got married. My family and friends gave me there at the wedding. But that was the beginning of our life together at my guest parents' hut. I had no intention of quitting Mike, but I was checked by Vicky one by one for cleaning the house early. In the morning, doing laundry even on my days off, preparing meals.
Oh, you can't even cook very well. What a troublesome wife you are. You could have at least bought some dishes.
I think it's delicious. Is she bullying me? On the days after the night shift, was so tired from work that I would by evening. But Mike, whether he knew how I was or not, was living a carefree life on.
Hey, Mike, about Vicky.
Oh, again? Just make it work with my mom.
I have to go to my part-time job now.
Hey.
One day, a year later, at a family gathering, Vicky asks me,
Hannah, when are you going to show grandchild? Please don't tell me that you're in love with him. If you have symptoms of hive, you should seek medical attention immediately.
I was getting concerned about it, Mice, without Vicky's advice. In fact, I had been going to the clinic for infertility treatments. The treatment would cost a lot of money, so I couldn't quit my job. So I had been worrying about it for a long time. I could only reply, I'm thinking about it. We had only been married for a year. And yet, Vicky tells me this.
You're incapable of having children, you. If you are incapable, then it's poor you to be even here as Mike's wife.
I was shocked by Vicky's heartless. On top of that, some of my relative said that they were worried that I'd be able to produce an heir. When I looked at Mike, he turned his face away and ignored me.
I'm doing my best. I've been to the clinic and had tests done.
Well, this is the first time I'm hearing about this. Then you must be able to have healthy children, right? If you can't produce an heir, you are completely unnecessary here. If that happens, I will ask you to Mikey.
With those words, something inside me snapped.
I've had enough. I am not a slave that you can just do with me because I cannot get pregnant. Besides, I married Mike, not his whole family.
Oh, dear, you've really said something that can't be taken back now. You really are not qualified to be after all. It can't be helped if you're only at money, though. Well, I've had enough too. A woman who can't have children better get out of my house.
Hearing her words, I packed my bags immediately. I went back to my parents' house and told them what had happened. Mike called me as soon as he got home from work.
Please come back. If you're not here, I'll even be troubled.
Troubled by what? Are you saying that knowing what I threw?
But I don't want a divorce from you.
Then why don't you leave you parent and come live together with me?
But my mom,
Are you going to leave your parents or not? Which is it?
let me think about it for a little.
In the end, Mike couldn't argue back and ended up divorcing me. We had a little trouble during the process. Vicky, who knew that I had my savings in Mike to divide the property properly, but I was totally against it. A meeting was set up to discuss the issue, but thanks to my parents and lawyer I had asked for also complained to Mike about it. So he caved in and the divorce was successfully finalized with no property division. To this, Vicky was saying, my son enough is enough, so that's why he enough to cave in, and you should be for that. Finally, everything was over. I couldn't see any future with someone like Vicky who seemed to be stuck in her part-time job. I was glad that this was over. I also became to think that I should live over again with a refreshed mind. And a few years later, one day, when I had almost forgotten the past, Vicky suddenly came to my
Long time no see. What happened?
You were only trying to be innocent, weren't at all. Our family heirloom is missing ever left. Give it back, you thief!
I had no idea what she was talking about, so I wasn't happy to have her making a scene at my front door. Reluctantly, I came inside the house. Vicky was being very aggressive.
Our family heirloom, which was placed in the warehouse, is missing. It was you who took it, right?
Not only did she accuse me of wanting to have children, but she also accused me of being a thief. I'm just so stunned.
What do you mean? I have no clue about what you're about.
Fine, I'll give you some time. Return it back. If you return it on time, then it will be fine. If you don't, I'll sue you.
Vicky finally left after saying that. I had no idea what was going on, and was left with was a feeling of disgust. There certainly seemed to be a lot of important things in that huge house, but he had no interest in any of them at all. He didn't even take a closer look. Of course, I had no idea how much it was worth, and there was no way I could take it. And she just suddenly treats me like... After that, Mike called me in a panic.
I'm so sorry, Hannah. I think my mother visited you, but mistake about the family heirloom be stolen. I'm really sorry about this.
He told me this over the phone, and, exhausted by this turn of events, the sofa. A few hours later, the doorbell rang, and both Vicky and Mike came in together.
I know you're in there. Come on out. Come out, you cursed one. Give me back what you stole from me. I came all the way here to get it back.
Mom, just please calm down.
Vicky is just screaming around for return, their family heirloom. And M, desperately trying to stop her.
It's not good for the neighbors if you scream in a place like this, so please come inside.
If you had just returned what you stole from them, everything would have been fine.
Mom, there must be a mistake here.
Why are you protecting this woman?
What do you mean, why? That's just how it is.
And then it hit me.
Mike, could it be you who took the heirloom? In the past, when you ran out of makeup, you would secretly take mine, sell them.
Well, that's...
Oh no, Mickey! Did you break it?
Knowing that he couldn't deny the truth, Mike began to confess.
I don't get enough money from my pad job. And Mom, you don't give me any these days. My father also told me not to come, and I can't. Pay back my debts because I won't retire anytime soon.
Mikey, you're in debt.
Apparently, he didn't have enough money. So, he even began to be in debt. Wow, he really is helpless.
So, since it's not my fault at all, both please leave.
The reason Mikey did this is surely of your influence. He might have borrowed money because he needed it. I can't believe Mickey married a hopeless woman like you. That's right. I'll demand alimony for all the trouble you've caused me. Right, Mickey?
You're the one who caused me to start.
Why is Mike's debt my fault? Is it because of the way you brought him up that he became who he is? Normally, adults don't act like that. I didn't even want to see you both, but you two are the ones who suddenly barged into my house. So who's the crazy ones here?
When I was getting tired of this, Mai, who was in the back of the house, to me. What's wrong with him? He asked, holding our baby in his arms. Yes, I had actually remarried. The moment they saw the faces of my husband, Dave, and our baby, both V and Mike looked very surprised. Of course they were, because my current husband was the one I had hired from that divorce. Later, I met him coincidentally through a friend who was that lawyer who helped me at that time. Dave, who knew the personalities of both families, was worried about how they would get along. He had helped me in many ways. When I talked to him, we had the same interests, and above all, he was a really reliable man. 8 months later, we got married.
Oh, hi, it's been a while.
Both Mike and Vicky were stunned to hold a baby.
A baby? No way!
Why did you barge in here without any permission? I heard a little about this before. You're still living without any proper income from a company? If it's none of my business, then gee, Hannah is my precious wife.
As Mike got silenced by Dave, Vicky this.
What's wrong with him being unemployed?
Mom, stop treating me like I'm a child.
My husband sighs loudly. My daughter cries.
You do know that I'm a lawyer, right? If you continue making ludicrous accusations, we will take legal action against you. Let's start with breaking and entering.
I only just walked in here for a minute.
Then Dave says this.
You may think it's easy to say that you only entered someone's house for a few minutes, but the crime of breaking and entering comes with penalties such as jail time and fines. The penalty for breaking and entering is up to 3 years in prison and a fine of $1,000. There is also a jail sentence available, so you better be prepared.
Pardon me?
Hearing these words, both Vicky and rushed out of the house. Seeing them rush out, I said this too.
Oh, yes. As you can see, after the fertility clinic checked everything, there was nothing wrong with me.
After being told that there was nothing wrong with me, the two of them left quietly. Dave laughed as I said this to them. Ever come back again, I will be call police. Later on, when Dave sent a notice home, my father-in-law called to apologize. I'm so glad I married a very reliable husband. I heard from a mutual friend that Mike is still living with his family. Our family of 3 is living happily together now. Oh, yes. I also found out recently that I'm pregnant with our second child. Dave hugged me gently, and I am very grateful for my kind husband. I'm so sure that the future of our country is very bright.